Erev Tov, everyone. This week's parsha, the Torah tells us that Yitzchak and Rivka had two sons, Esav and Yaakov. The Torah tells us, Vayehav Yitzchak es Esav, Yitzchak loved Esav, kitzayid b'fiv. The Rivka oheves es Yaakov. So the Meforshim, it's difficult to deal with this matter. How Yitzchak Avinu would love and prefer Esav over Yaakov. The Torah gives us a reason as to why Yitzchak loved Esav. The Torah tells us kitzayid b'fiv. What does that mean? Rashi expresses, kitzayid b'fiv refers to Esav. Esav hunted with his mouth, meaning Esav fooled his father. He asked him questions in halacha that gave Yitzchak the impression that somehow Esav was interested in observance, in Torah, that he was a good person. And therefore, Kitzayid B'fiv refers to Esav. Esav was hypocritical. He was cunning. He hunted his father through his mouth. So there's another interpretation, Kitzayid B'fiv, and that is that it refers to Yitzchak. That Yitzchak, so to speak, was addicted or enamored of venison, of hunted meat, and that Esav always brought him these delicacies that he wanted, that somehow he preferred. And because of the fact that Kitzayid B'fiv, because of what he liked to eat, so therefore that's why he loved Esav. Rashi doesn't want to go there because that somehow reflects even more negatively on the situation. Chazal say, the Mishnah in Avos, Kol ahava she'tluya b'davar, love that is dependent upon an external factor. So that love eino miskayemes. That's not enough that it will somehow endure. Kol ahava she'eino tluya b'davar, a love that is not dependent upon anything, then that's miskayemes, then that endures forever. So that, the Meforshim say that refers here to Yitzchak and Rivka. The Torah itself describes it to us. The Torah says, Yitzchak ohev es Esav, kitzayid b'fiv, because it was tluya b'dover. The ahava that Yitzchak had for Esav was dependent on tzayid b'fiv. according to the second interpretation that I mentioned, it certainly fits. So it was dependent upon his taste for venison, for meat, for what? For the food that Esau would bring him. But it says for Rivka, Heves as Yaakov, the Torah doesn't give any reason. The Torah doesn't say why she loved Yaakov. So that was an ahava she'eino tluya b'davar. That was a love that was not dependent upon anything. I had a story that happened, a family that I knew. So this family had a daughter, and the daughter, unfortunately, was born missing an eye. And it was a subject of great medical interest, and the plastic surgeons, etc., and they undertook and they fitted her with a glass eye, but they fitted it so perfectly, and she learned how to adapt with it so perfectly that practically no one could ever tell that she had only one eye and that the other eye was an artificial one. And the girl grew up. She was a beautiful girl, smart, talented, and she did a shidduch with a very fine young man, and the shadchan never mentioned that she had a glass eye. She, however, did not want to enter into marriage, into a relationship with such a secret. So she told him. And he was taken aback, as you can imagine. He held back. And he said, give me a day or two to think about it, whether we should go ahead. They were about to become engaged. He said, but do you want to tell me something that, so to speak, would encourage me? So she said to him, she said, I'm the same girl that you saw 2 days ago when you didn't know I had a glass eye. And then you were in love with me. And then you thought I'm the greatest girl in the world. And you want to get engaged. And we should be married. So is your love conditioned on the fact that somehow I don't have a glass eye? And he thought about it and he said, that's why I want to marry you. And they married and they have children and grandchildren. I know the whole family for years. So I always thought that that was Avo She'eino Tluya B'Davar. He loved the girl. He loved the person. So it wasn't dependent upon other things. Some people, it's dependent on the father-in-law. Some people, it's dependent upon money. Some people, all sorts of conditions are made when people enter into arrangements in life. But at the end of the day, Vayi Baboker Vine Leah, that's the girl, that's the one. That's the one you're dealing with. So the measure is always whether it's Avo Shetluya B'Davar, Avo She'eino Tluya B'Davar. My Rebbe used to say that about Eretz Yisrael. He said, if you have Avos Yisrael and Avos Eretz Yisrael, so then you got to have it even when the wrong parties are running it. Because as you say, I love it only when, then that's Tluya B'Dover. Tluya B'Dover ein adover miskayemes. So Rivka Imenu, her love for Yaakov was not Tluya B'Dover. And that explains why the lengths that she went to ensure that Yaakov should get the brachas. The risks that she took. She endangers herself and she pays a price for it. Because it wasn't Tluya B'Dover. Yitzchak's attitude towards Esav, for whatever reason, had this Tluya B'Dover attached to it. That's why the Torah mentions Kitzayid B'Fiv. And so to speak, there was something involved here. And when that disappeared, as it eventually disappeared, Esav brings already strange women into the house. They worship Avodah Zarah in the house. They burn incense in the house. Yitzchak goes blind because of it. He's no longer able to ignore what Esav is. And therefore, even when he finds out the means at which Yaakov obtained the brachas, he nevertheless confirms the brachas with him. And he tells Esav, Kibaruchu, I blessed him. I can't retract it. So there's a lesson there in life. The lesson of Ava Shetluya B'Dover and Ava Sheina Tluya B'Dover. Chazal emphasized that over and over and over again. And that has to do with our relationship with people, our relationship with family, our relationship here in Eretz Yisrael, one with another. To try and reach a level that we can have an Ava Sheina Tluya B'Dover. And that's an Ava Shemiskayemes that remains, that's eternal, that's strong, that's valid. And that is what Yaakov Avinu achieved through his mother Rivka. Rabbi Chananya ben Akashi Omer Rotza HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakos Es Yisrael V'fichal Chirba Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar Adonai Chafetz Saman Tzidko Yagdil Torah V'Yadir.